we've been deceived into thinking that school and education is about getting you a certain kind of job. But what I see a lot of families do is they say, well, a K-12 classical education, that's where I get their Christian foundation, their worldview, and then they go to college to get ready for a job. Run this little experiment. Your 4 years from 18 to 22, those 4 years of your life, were those the 4 years where all of your becoming a certain kind of person had kind of been wrapped up by 17? And 18 to 22, were those the years where nothing of real substance or significance happened into making you the kind of person you are now? It's a laughable mental experiment, because we all know if I walk through, particularly those 4 years, how significant were they for you in thinking through what your faith commitment looked like? What kind of, whether or not you were a Christian, whether you're going to live faithfully as a Christian, what your theological convictions were those the years where nothing of interest really happened, or were those years where
everything happened?
Everything happened. And for many, and even if you had a faithful childhood, those 4 years are huge for locking you in to being the kind of person that you are now. Think about where you are in a family now, in your marriage, and the kinds of kids you have. How did those 18 to 22, how did those years play into your current situation and family, for good or for ill? And it could be both. Those could be the 4 years where you figured out, this is the woman I want to marry, and it all came together. Those could be the 4 years that you still deeply regret and are still trying to get out of your system. Mm-hmm. There's so much that happens in those 4 years. One of the statistics that we track as a school is we reconnect with our alumni after they've been graduated from our school for 15 years. So 15 years out, what are you up to now? What are you doing? And one of the things, we see a disproportionate number of our graduates are serving as church officers, elders, deacons. There's a number of different things that we can track and say, okay, this education is really having this kind of impact. But one of the ones that I think is the most significant is we ask about their divorce rate. And after 15 years after graduation, we have a less than 2% divorce rate. And I think that goes back to what was happening during those 4 years. Mm-hmm. If you want your conception for what you want in a marriage, would you like it shaped at a frat party or a series of frat parties over 3 years? Or would you like that shaped in a faithful Christian covenant community where you're seeing 80-year-old couples and 2-year-old toddlers all in covenant community? That really changes what you're thinking you want.